The 14th, we'll complete that and go also for the 15th verse. So we'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Gyantimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritavadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamshri Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahikam Raghunadam Tam Sajaya Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahila Lata Shri Vishakamatam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swanta Namane Naste Saraswate Dev Gauravani Pracharine Nirvise Shamagari Pashyapta Desami. Okay. Okay, you can recite your own prayers. No problem if you are not able to hear. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namo. He Krishna Karuna Sandho Dina Bandho Jagapate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sate Devi Pranamami Hare. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Is it audible now or Hare Krishna?
It is audible now.
It's audible now. Okay. You can tell me because I'm using Wi-Fi. My LAN is not working. In case if any problem is there. Yeah, you can be muted and recite along with me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Ishavasya Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita Makrita Kashasvidhanam. Okay, can someone volunteer to read today? Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah.
So, from where?
I'll let you know. Just I'll first
Sure. Yeah.
recap the yesterday's thing. So in this verse, two, three things are told that both, yeah, two things are told. Yeah, three things you can say. Both Sambhutim. Sambhutim means that which is the source of creation and maintenance. Means which is referring to the absolute truth or no Bhagavan or Krishna, whatever you can say. And Vinasham. Vinasham is the material world and the worship of demigods in particular here. So both have to be learned, and using this demigod worship and the Vedic knowledge, Vedic way of worship, etc. Vedic culture, you can say. One should transcend the world, and using devotion to the Supreme Lord, one can attain the spiritual world. So initially, Prabhupada, again, like similar to the previous verse, he spoke about
Hare Krishna.
he also tells how different planets in the universe have different time limits, different time spans. But ultimately, the whole universe only will get destroyed. So then he says, no, this is only one fourth of the creation, but one three fourth of the creation in the spiritual world, and he describes a little bit about that. But then he's going to describe what actually prevents the living entities to aim for the spiritual world. So that is the tendency to enjoy matter and the doership mentality. Okay, Anish, we can read from here on the material planets.
On the material planets, everyone from Brahma down to the ant is trying to lord it over material nature, and this is the material disease. As long as this material disease continues, the living entity has to undergo the process of bodily change. Whether he takes the form of a man, demigod, or animal, he ultimately has to endure an unmanifested condition during the two devastations. The devastation during the night of Brahma and the devastation at the end of Brahma's life. If we want to put an end to this process of repeated birth and death, as well as the concomitant factors of old age and disease, we must try to enter the spiritual planets where we can live eternally in the association of Lord Krishna or his plenary expansions, his Narayan forms. Lord Krishna or his plenary expansions dominate every one of these innumerable planets, a fact confirmed in the Shruti mantras. Eko Vashi Sarvaga Krishna Idya, Eko Pisan Bahudayo Vibhati. Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.21. No one can dominate Krishna. It is the conditioned soul who tries to dominate material nature and is instead subjected to the laws of material nature and the sufficient sufferings of repeated birth and death.
Okay. So, so Prabhupada is talking about the tendency to dominate. Yeah. Yeah, means the ultimate solution to get out of the world is to go to the spiritual world. Whereas one has to go through all these devastations. The devastation at the night of Brahma and the devastation at the end of the life of Brahma. So if one has to means that is the ultimate solution. But the thing is the obstacle is the tendency to dominate. So can take some time and not think about these things. So list some unnatural and unethical ways the modern man is trying to control nature and give some examples from Shastra where someone failed in their desire to dominate nature or whatever. And what are the problems associated with the desire to dominate? And is the ability to dominate all bad? Or is there any good thing? And how can we overcome the obsession to dominate this world? So we can think about these things, then we'll discuss.
Hare
And
Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji, I couldn't attend the class yesterday. Which verse we are reading from, Prabhuji?
this is 14th.
14th. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can take around 8 minutes, then we'll discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, your voice is very low, Prabhuji, not clear.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Now is it better?
Yes, Prabhuji, little better, yes.
Okay, take. I will try to come little. Yes, for first question. Just a moment. Yes, Sharyu Mataji, you can tell.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In sometimes people uses different chemicals to ripe the fruits artificially. Okay, and the second one is that the chemical rain. When we have poor rain in some areas, then people try to do the artificial rain.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
Prabhu, stopping the flow of river, creating dams and all.
Okay. Nine. Sanatan Gopal Prabhu.
Some of these points are like cutting the hills, exploitative mining, and
Okay.
fertilizers, plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Teja Kadam Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Afforestation, cutting down the trees,
Okay.
also creating artificial fire.
Okay. Acha, okay. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu. Okay. Okay, Anish Prabhu.
Using like inventing air conditioner, cars and aeroplanes, and even China has made an artificial sun now, I think. Sun or moon, something like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, means using a spacecraft to going to the another planet is a unethical way, because we can, means Shastra, there is a process to go to the higher planetary systems.
I think Prabhuji is lost connection.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Today please ask Prabhuji about our exams and
Yes, yes.
schedule. Thank you.
Also, Prabhuji, NY result is out or not?
It's
Any idea?
not out. I asked, but like BVRB declares that, so they haven't done that now.
Also, I think Prabhuji doesn't have to do anything with the exams. I think Arjuneshwar Prabhu only decides, no, about our exams. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yes, actually, like BVRB and Arjuneshwar will decide.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji, any one of you can tell me, like, till where we have already read on the purport? Actually, I couldn't follow, Prabhuji. Which paragraph we just completed?
Mataji, if you are checking the book, it is page number 92.
92. Okay.
Yeah, until Upanishad 1.3.2, 21. Now we'll be starting the second paragraph.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Anish Prabhu can make me co-host. It's better. Anish Prabhu, you can make me co-host. Okay. Let me share this. Okay. So for second question, anyone give some examples from Shastra where someone failed in their desire to dominate. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Daksha, he wanted to dominate over Lord Shiva.
Okay, that one. Okay, fine. Let me just. Okay, Pratik Prabhu Mataji, Shweta Mataji.
Prabhuji, the example of Vishwamitra Muni and Trishanku.
Acha, acha. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's a good example. Okay. Okay. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the example of Ravana, Ravana wanted to make a steps city, what we can staircase from heaven to for the lower planetary system.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay. Sharyu Mataji.
Prabhuji, also the Ravan dominate the Valley.
Okay, okay. That way. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay. Radhika Gopika Mataji.
Prabhuji, Kamsa.
Okay. Okay, take care. Fine. Thank you. Okay, now third question. What are the problems associated with the desire to dominate? Okay, Anish Prabhu.
So it increases the false material conception because our constitutional position is to be servant and not to be dominant. So it's like a false conception,
Yeah,
illusion.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. Ashish Prabhu.
Supreme control is Krishna, and there are respective reciting demigods to control certain things. But if one desires, so basically, it creates uh, like when we desire something, it either creates anger or greed, and in the both ways, it is
Okay.
like a great false ego.
Okay, okay. Fine, fine. Thank you. Okay. 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 Vidita Mataji, you wanted to?
Yeah, same thing, Prabhuji. We'll try to become controllers when we are actual not the controllers.
Okay. Good, okay. ठीक है ब्रजपति गोपीनाथ प्रभु माताजी. Okay, yeah, nice points. Okay, now fourth question is the ability to dominate all bad. Means it is only anti-devotional or something. Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
Ability is not bad, though, because different demigods also have that ability to control certain part. It's not bad. The intention and the propensity.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, so it can be doubted in for a right purpose or devotional service. It's not wrong. Okay. Now the last question: how can we overcome the obsession to dominate? How can we overcome the obsession? Yes, Sanatan Gopal Prabhu.
So, understanding our own constitutional position, that is the most important thing. And when we understand, we start giving respect to others, putting others in ourselves in others' shoes, and trying to understand their position, and that the whole problem can be resolved. Yeah.
Okay, Mahadev Keshwar Prabhu.
Prabhuji, to understand what is our position, what is Paramatma, relation between Paramatma and Jivas. If understand this Bhagavad Gita concepts very nicely, that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and by gaining this knowledge, we can dominate this.
Okay.
We can overcome this problem.
Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, Priya Mataji.
I think to overcome being dominant, like obsession to dominate, we can, we can be humble, develop humility, serving others, like serving, and tolerate also. Tolerate.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah, nice points. So if we understand that, if we also experience, if we understand that by serving others also we can be happy, so then also it will help. Okay, thank you. We will proceed. Okay, Anish Bro, you can continue reading. The Lord comes here.
The Lord comes here to re-establish the principles of religion. And the basic principle is the development of an attitude of surrender to Him. This is the Lord's last instruction in the Bhagavad Gita, 18.66. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other processes and just surrender unto me alone. Unfortunately, foolish men who have misinterpreted this prime teaching and misled the masses of people in diverse ways. People have been urged to open hospitals but not to educate themselves to enter into the spiritual kingdom by devotional service. They have been taught to make interest only in temporary relief work, which can never bring real happiness to the living entity. They start varieties of public and semi governmental institutes to tackle the devastating power of nature, but they don't know how to pacify insurmountable nature. Many men are advertised as great scholars of Bhagavad Gita, but they overlook the Gita's message by which material nature can be pacified. Powerful nature can be pacified only by the awakening of God consciousness, as clearly pointed out in Bhagavad Gita 7.14.
Yeah. Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying mainly about the social work in the name of religion and all. But actually there should be spirituality component is sometimes kept into the background or sometimes fully neglected and ignored. But that should be the prime thing. And whatever other activities like material welfare activities, they should be subordinate to that. But but some other spiritual leaders and all, they emphasize this thing and they ignore it. So that's what Prabhupada is criticizing. They are not taught to educate, but not to educate themselves to enter into the spiritual kingdom by devotional service. So that people have been urged to open hospitals, but not to educate themselves to enter into the spiritual kingdom by devotional service. So that is the problem. Okay. Next section. Yeah. So next, there is a.
Shall I
Okay, so
read?
now also there is a discussion on the balance between prescribed duties and devotional service. Okay, so you can think about these questions. So what are the prescribed duties for householders, and what are the consequences if prescribed duties are neglected, and when can we totally abandon our prescribed duties? Okay, so you can take 5 minutes, 7 minutes you can take, then we will discuss. Okay, so for the first question, what are the prescribed duties for householders? It's very easy. Okay, Ambarish Prabhu.
One is important is charity.
Okay. 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 Tejashri Mataji.
To provide education and manage education to children and manage finance.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, basic necessities in education. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu is not there.
Prabhuji, the prescribed duties of the householder life in such a way that we have to perform artha, kama, and moksha. For artha, we have to do some job to get some artha. That artha should be utilized for sacrifices. Some sacrifices remain, and we should beget the children to so that it will get nice succession. And for moksha, we have to perform tapasya so that we can.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good point. Okay. I think you summarized. We'll go for the next question. Okay, what are the consequences if prescribed duties are neglected? Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
Material bondage and miseries.
What?
Material bondage and miseries.
Material bondage. How material bondage will happen? Miseries are fine.
So if we don't perform prescribed duties, so like if Shastra says that you support the Vaishnava and temples to perform the preaching by financing them. So if we keep everything and we don't give it in service of Krishna, that definitely going to be kind of a material bondage for us.
Acha, like that. Okay, okay. Okay, anyone else? Any other points? Yeah. Okay, no points. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Sanatan Gopal Prabhu.
Imbalance, disharmony, and stress, anxiety, all those things.
Yes, yes, yes. Good, good. Correct, correct. Okay. Okay, Vrajpati Gopinath Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. Yeah. See, like, so we can see the current situation, Prabhu. The Raja means who is ruling during Parikshit Maharaj time and Yudhishthir Maharaj. They are doing the prescribed duties like from king wise as well as Praja also. But we can see the now situation in the name of democratic democracy. All are going for money planning and bank balance with bank only. Due to this, we got like drafts also sometimes not the proper rains at the same time. Some or other way all are getting affected.
Yes, yes, yes. Fine.
Current situation we can do.
Okay, okay. Okay, yeah. Nice, nice. Thank you. Yeah, this is from a society point of view. Okay. Okay, Sangeeta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Actually, if we don't follow our duties, then our children may not be able to they are copying us, no? So our culture will get lost because we are not following our duties. So the same thing will be carried forward for the next generations to come.
Yes, yes. Okay. Nice, nice points. Nice points. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, it will create disharmony and it will not be a sustainable life, and it will not have a stable platform to practice devotional service. Okay, last question. When can we totally abandon our prescribed duties? Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
My perspective, Prabhuji, never.
Huh?
Never. We should not give up.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
That's okay. Anish Prabhu.
When we become pure devotees, we can do it.
We
like
can do
100% pure devotees.
Yeah, okay,
We
okay.
may do it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yes, good. Thank you. Fine. Anyone else wants to answer? Yes, Soumya Mataji.
When we become fully surrendered and when our authorities, when discussing with our authorities, we can do this.
Yes. Okay. Okay, last we'll take Sanatan Gopal Prabhu.
From more or less similar point that when we are fully realized and have the confirmation that all the responsibilities are taken care by the authorities, then it can be done.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu want to add
Prabhu,
something?
see, as per my knowledge, the responsibilities never end, Prabhuji. Because see, whatever as a like material world, whatever you are doing, something will come.
Yeah.
But I can say surrender, because when it comes to Prabhupada also, we left the family because one stage. Because there is responsibilities also, but he makes sure that he fully surrendered.
Okay.
Responsibilities never end up. Like minimal we can do, 100% we can't satisfy everybody. So Prabhupada case also, Prabhupada has a medicine stores. But once upon a time, it's whatever happening, the Krishna's mercy is surrendered.
Okay.
When it's
Yes,
fully
Prabhu.
surrendered.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, we will discuss about different answers. So, let's discuss that. So, Bhagavad Gita says this, Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. So, yes, Swati Mataji, you want to add something?
Yes, Prabhuji, as you rightly said, it is never the right time to leave because there are responsibilities, and why we shy away from leaving all the material connections and all it's because we think if we leave this, then who will look after us in our old age? That is the main thing that holds us back to the family life, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we'll discuss from Bhaktivinoda Thakur when to do that. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita prescribes balance is needed. So this is not prescribed for normal people. This is prescribed for a practitioner, spiritual practitioner. So even for spiritual practitioners, the balance is needed. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Okay. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells like when this can be done. So from this one should not conclude, he gives in Bhakti Alok commentary on Ennoy third verse. So from this one should not conclude that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered us to discard Varnashrama Dharma. If that would have been the case, then he would not have instructed all living entities through his pastimes of completely following the orders of Grihastha and Sannyas. As long as one has a material body, the system of Varnashrama Dharma must be followed, but it should remain under the full control and domination of Bhakti. Yes, this is important. It should remain under the full control and domination of Bhakti. Varnashrama Dharma is like the foundation of one's supreme occupational duty. When one's supreme occupational duty is matured and one achieves his goal, then the process is gradually neglected. So it can be gradually neglected. Okay. So Baldev Devbhushan, he gives a 3 levels of it. So he gives 3 levels of Vaishnavas. This he gives in the introduction to his Gita Bhushan commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So there is Sanishta. Sanishta means he is doing his bhajan and he's doing his Varnashrama duties, but he has material desires. But Paranishta means he has his heart is purified, so he's doing his bhajan plus he's doing his Varnashrama duties. He may be doing it so for to set an example, or because there are some still there are some no obligations or something, but there are no material desires. And then Nirapeksha, so then he's fully focused on doing bhajan. Bhajan also can include serving devotees or whatever. So these are 3 levels, and it has to be done gradually. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Anish, you can read in this mantra.
In this mantra, Sri Ishopanishad teaches that one must perfectly know both Sambhuti, the personality of Godhead, and Vinasha, the temporary material manifestation side by side. By knowing the material manifestation alone, one cannot be saved, for in the course of nature there is devastation at every moment. Ahani ahani bhutani gachantiha yamalayam. Nor can one be saved from these devastations by the opening of hospitals. One can be saved only by complete knowledge of the eternal life of bliss and awareness. The whole Vedic scheme is meant to educate men in this art of attaining eternal life. People are often misguided by temporary attractive things based on sense gratification, but service rendered to the sense object is both misleading and degrading. We must therefore save ourselves and our fellow men in the right way. There is no question of liking or disliking the truth. It is there. If we want to be saved from repeated birth and death, we must take to devotional service of the Lord. There can be no compromise, for this is a matter of necessity.
Yeah. So the service rendered to the sense objects is both misleading and degrading. Misleading because it distracts us from devotional service. Degrading because it may lead to entanglement and sin. So that's why it's both linked. So the Prabhupada is focusing on the importance of the spiritual life, devotional service, and this opening of hospitals, social work, welfare work and all, it should be subordinate. And in an individual case, again, the prescribed duties should be subordinate to the devotional service. And again, neglecting of prescribed duties, as duties are shared, it has to be done under guidance and it has to be done gradually. Okay. So, any question on this verse or no, these three verses? Anything?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. You have some question or?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was reading the purport like yesterday. I couldn't attend the class, so it is mentioned here that this the devastation process, after Brahma's night and after Brahma's life.
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, during that avyakta state, what happens with the karmas accumulated by the living entity? Like, have accumulated karma.
Yeah, they are preserved. They are preserved, and accordingly, in the next creation, they are given the bodies accordingly. They are preserved, so it's clear, na?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so we will proceed to the next shloka. Yeah, so this shloka, now these are last 4 shlokas, which are like prayers. The first 2 are like more like prayers of glorification and all, and last 2 are like prayers for liberation. Yes, bro, you can recite after me. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukam.
हिरण्यमयपात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखम्
Tattvam pushan upagruno satyadharmaya drishtaye.
तत्त्वं पुष्यान् अपूर्णोत् सत्यं धर्माय दृश्यते.
Translation. O Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. So, if you again contrast this to like so generally the prayers which we read in our devotional, in our Krishna consciousness, if you compare, let's say, Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Mishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So it's very devotional desire, is expressed, and the Lord is also called in a very devotional way. Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkar, Ayinanda Tanuja. But if you contrast this, this is a personal desire, means please show your face, and it's asked in and Lord is also addressed as satyasya, satya dharmaya drishtaya, satya dharma, so satya, he is addressed as satya, and pushan. Yeah. So this prayer you can say is personal but not devotional. Again, this is because this is in the Upanishads. So those who are Jnana yogis and all, they acknowledge the personal form of the Lord, means proper Jnana yogis, or you can say Brahmavadis. They acknowledge the personal form of the Lord, but they are not attracted to it. So that's why their prayers can say this prayer is personal but not devotional. Okay. So we studied this in the first, while discussing the first verse, but again we'll just revise. So the absolute truth, there are three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So in the Brahman is also Satchitananda, but only Sat is manifested, so that's why it is formless. And Paramatma is also Satchitananda, but Sat and Chit are manifested. So there is form, but there are no pastimes. Means you understand that Lord is a conscious being. In the previous one, Lord is it's like a light, but Lord is eternal. And in Bhagavan is also Satchitananda, but Sat, Chit, and Anand, all three are manifested. So there is form and there are pastimes of the Lord. So objectively, all three are same, or from tattva wise. Tattva wise, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan are same. It's not like Brahman is inferior to Bhagavan or something. Like if you take example, mango, banana, and apple, all three are fruits. But rasa wise or subjectively, they are different. Especially for devotees, Bhagavan is greater than Paramatma is greater than Brahman. So because devotees, they focus on the Ananda part. They want to relish the Ananda and they want to give Ananda to the Lord. Now for Gyanis and no, for Gyanis may more focus on Brahman, and yogis they may more focus on Paramatma. Like different people will have different tastes. Some may say no, mango is more tastier than apple than all this, or some may say banana is more tastier. Means somebody may want to focus on the nutrition, so somebody say banana is more nutritious. So different perspectives may be there. Okay. So it's not like objectively there is no difference. It's only a subjective perception. Yeah. Okay, Pro, you can continue. You can read in the Bhagavad Gita.
In the Bhagavad Gita 14.27, the Lord explains his personal race Brahmajyoti, the dazzling effulgence of his personal form in this way. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan are the three aspects of the same absolute truth. Brahman is the aspect most easily perceivable by the beginner. Paramatma, the Supersoul, is realized by those who have further progressed, and Bhagwan realization is the ultimate realization of the Absolute Truth. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.7, where Lord Krishna says that he is the ultimate concept of the Absolute Truth. Matta Paradaran Nanyat. Therefore, Krishna is the source of the Brahmajyoti as well as the all pervading Paramatma. Later in Bhagavad Gita 10.42, Krishna further explains, Athava bahunaitena kimnyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekamshina sthito jagat.
Yeah.
But what
Okay, yeah.
But what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. Thus, by his one plenary expansion, the all pervading Paramatma, the Lord, maintains the complete material cosmic creation. He also maintains all manifestations in
the spiritual world. Okay. So the first sloka tells about the relationship between Lord, Bhagwan, and Brahman. And the second shloka tells about the relationship between Bhagavan and Paramatma. Okay. Yeah, you can continue. Therefore, in the Shruti.
Therefore, in this Shruti mantra of Sri Ishopanishad, the Lord is addressed as Pushan, the ultimate maintainer. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is always filled with transcendental bliss, Anandamayo Bhyasat. When he was present at Vrindavan in India 5000 years ago, he always remained in transcendental bliss, even from the beginning of his childhood pastimes. The killing of various demons such as Aga, Baka, Putana, and Pralamba were but pleasure excursions for him. In his village of Vrindavan, he enjoyed himself with his mother, brother, and friends. And when he played the role of a naughty but a thief, all his associates enjoyed celestial bliss by his stealing. The Lord's fame as a butter thief is not reproachable, for by stealing butter, the Lord gave pleasure to his pure devotees. Everything the Lord did in Vrindavan was for the pleasure of his associates there. The Lord created these pastimes to attract the dry speculators and the acrobats of the so-called Hatha Yoga system who wish to find the absolute truth.
Yes, Lord performed these pastimes to attract. So yeah, this is the reason which given in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvata. So Lord descends and performs the pastime so that the conditioned souls are attracted. And yeah, Lord is not, it's not he's short of butter, or he does not have butter, he's falling short of butter, but he's doing it to reciprocate with the love of his devotees.
Of the childhood play, can I read?
Yeah, you can continue. Of the childhood play.
Of the childhood play between the Lord and his playmates, the cowherd boys, Shukdev Goswami says in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11, Itham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam naradarakena sakam vijaru kurta punya punjaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is perceived as the impersonal, blissful Brahman by the Jnanis, who is worshipped as the Supreme Lord by the devotees in the mood of servitorship, and who is considered as ordinary human being by mundane people, played with the cowherd boys who had attained their position after accumulating many pious activities. Thus, the Lord is always engaged in transcendental loving activities with his spiritual associates in the various relationships of Shanta, neutrality, Dasya, servitorship, Sakhya, friendship, Vatsalya, parental affection, and Madhurya, conjugal love.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is explaining about the Ananda future of the Bhagavan. So it has it has unlimited varieties, and it is manifested constantly and with ever increasing sweetness. So that is the glory of Bhagavan. Okay. So now Prabhupada describes about the Paramatma and all. Okay, if you can continue.
Since it is said that Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan Dham, one may ask how he manages the affairs of the creation. This is answered in the Bhagavad Gita 13.14 to 18. The Lord pervades the entire material nature by his plenary part known as the Paramatma or Super Soul. Although the Lord personally has nothing to do with this material creation, maintenance, and destruction, he causes all these things to be done by his plenary expansion, the Paramatma. Every living entity is known as Atma, soul, and the principal Atma who controls them all is the Paramatma, the super soul. This system of God realization is a great science. The materialistic Sankhya yogis can only analyze the meditation on the 24 factors of the material creation, for they have very little information of the Purusha, the Lord. And the impersonal transcendentalists are simply bewildered by the glaring effulgence of the Brahmajyoti. If one wants to see the absolute truth in full, one has to penetrate beyond the 24 elements and the glaring effulgence as well. Sri Ishopanishad points towards this direction, praying for the removal of Hiranyamaya Patra, the dazzling covering of the Lord. Unless this covering is removed, so one can perceive the real face of the personality of Godhead, factual realization of the absolute truth can never be achieved.
Yeah. Because Bhagavan is the complete manifestation of the absolute truth. So that's why Prabhupada is writing that factual realization of the absolute truth can never be achieved. Yeah. Of course, the 24 elements are the 5 gross elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether. Then the 3 subtle elements: mind, intelligence, false ego. So these are 8. And okay, the 5 senses, 5 sense objects, and yeah, 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. So 15 plus 8, 23. 23, then it considers only Atma, so that is, then it will become 24. And the Sankhya yogis, they see the Prakriti as the prime thing. They don't go beyond Prakriti. But Prabhupada is saying that's what they have to go beyond Prakriti and see the super soul behind everything. He is the Purusha. He is the real Purusha. They consider Atma only as Purusha, but actually the Paramatma is the real Purusha, which you will also see in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that Prabhupada is saying, but yeah, Gyanis, but Gyanis, instead of Paramatma, they focus on the impersonal Brahma. But the real means the more complete manifestation of absolute truth is Bhagavan. So Prabhupada is saying that they should go for that. Okay. Yes, Prabhupada, you can continue the Paramatma feature.
The Paramatma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of 3 plenary expansions of Vishnu Tattvas, collectively known as the Purusha Avtaras. One of these Vishnu Tattvas, who is within the universe, is known as Kshirodakshay Vishnu. He is the Vishnu among the 3 principal deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And he is the all-pervading Paramatma in each and every individual living entity. The second Vishnu Tattva within the universe is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the collective supersoul of all living entities. Beyond these two is the Karanodakshay Vishnu who lies in the causal ocean. He is the creator of all universes.
Yeah. So these 3 we saw that yesterday we saw Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he is within the universe, and Karandaksha Vishnu is in the causal ocean, in the material world, and Shirodaksha Vishnu is there everyone as a Paramatma. So these are the 3 Purusha avatars. So the Paramatma future refers to these 3 things. But we should not see Brahmavadis, we should not see them very cheaply. One thing is we cannot relate to them because we are not so materially detached or not so spiritually unattached, because the adhikar for practicing Jnana Yoga is like complete detachment. The adhikar for practicing Karma Yoga is material attachment. But the adhikar for practicing Bhakti means not too much attached and not too much detached. So we may not be able to relate with them, but Krishna appreciates them actually. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyo hi Jnanino Atyartham Aham Sa Cha Mama Priyaha. So he's calling him, is very dear. So for Krishna means he also loves them. He also appreciates them for their spiritual practice and their detachment, etc. So we should try to see from how Krishna sees them. Instead of we should not egoistically feel that we are superior to them and all. Maybe possible they may be more purified at heart than us, etc. Yeah. Okay. We can consider ourselves as fortunate, and they may not be that fortunate. like that, instead of seeing ourselves as superior to them. Okay. Yes, bro, you can continue the yoga system.
The yoga system teaches the serious student to meet the Vishnu Tattvas after going beyond the 24 material elements of the cosmic creation. The culture of empirical knowledge, philosophy helps one to realize the impersonal Brahmajyoti, which is the glaring effulgence of the transcendental body of Lord Sri Krishna. That the Brahmajyoti is Krishna's effulgence is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.27 as well as Brahma Samhita 5.40. यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटि कोटिश्वशेषु वसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
So this
In the
Prabha, so Brahma Jyoti here refers to Prabha. Prabha means effulgence. Yes, you can read the translation.
In the millions and millions of universes, there are innumerable planets, and each and every one of them is different from the others by its cosmic constitution. All of these planets are situated in a corner of the Brahmajyoti. This Brahmajyoti is but the personal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, whom I worship. This mantra from Brahma Samhita is spoken from the platform of factual realization of the absolute truth, and the Shruti mantra of Ishopanishad under discussion confirms this mantra as a process of realization. The Ishopanishad mantra is a simple prayer to the Lord to remove the Brahmajyoti so that one can see his real face. This Brahmajyoti effulgence is described in detail in several mantras of the Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.9 to 11.
Yeah.
Hiranmaya, shall I
Yeah,
read?
you read.
Hiranmaya shall I read or you read?
Yeah. Okay, you want me? I can.
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, if you can do that.
हिरण्मये परे कोशे विरजं ब्रह्मनिष्कलं तच्छुभ्रं ज्योतिषं तद्यत् आत्मविदो विदु न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेम विद्युतभान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति ब्रह्मै ब्रह्मैवेदम् अमृतं पुरस्तद्ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणस्तश्चोत्तरेण अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृशं ब्रह्मै वेदं विश्वम् इदं वरिष्ठम्. In the spiritual realm, beyond the material covering, is the unlimited Brahman effulgence, which is free from material contamination. That effulgence, white light, is understood by transcendentalists to be the light of all lights. In that realm, there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, fire, or electricity for illumination. Indeed, whatever illumination appears in the material world is only a reflection of that supreme illumination. That Brahman is in front and in back, in the north, south, east, and west, and also overhead and below. It is another word, in other words, that supreme Brahman effulgence spreads throughout both the material and spiritual skies.
So, like Brahmajyoti is like the sunlight of the spiritual world. So, in the material world, there is sunlight and planets are there. So, like that, Brahmajyoti is like the sunlight, is the shining light in the sky, and the Vaikunta planets and all are there. So it is called the light of all lights. So this is like description of what is Brahma Jyoti from the Upanishads. Okay, we can continue. Perfect knowledge means.
Perfect knowledge means knowing Krishna as the root of this Brahman effulgence. This knowledge can be gained from such scriptures as Srimad Bhagavatam, which perfectly elaborates the science of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the author, Srila Vyasdev, has established that one will describe the supreme truth as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan according to one's realization of him. Srila Vyasdev never states that the Supreme Truth is a jiva, an ordinary living entity. The living entity should never be considered the all-powerful Supreme Truth. If he wrote the Supreme, he would not need to pray to the Lord to remove his dazzling cover so that the living entity could see his real face.
Okay. Now here Prabhupada defines a very interesting way Brahman, Paramatma, and yeah, read.
The conclusion is that one who has no knowledge of the potencies of the Supreme Truth will realize the impersonal Brahman. Similarly, when one realizes the material potencies of the Lord but has little or no information of the spiritual potencies, he attains Paramatma realization. Thus, both Brahman and Paramatma realization of the Absolute Truth are partial realizations. However, when one realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, in full potency, after the removal of the Hiranyamaya Patra, one realizes Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Lord Sri Krishna, who is known as Vasudev, is everything. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. He is Bhagwan, the root, and Brahman and Paramatma are his branches.
So, so those who only know potencies, if one sees the absolute truth and there are no, but one does not have knowledge of, does not have any knowledge of potencies, so then he will aim for Brahman. So you have to see this from those who start this. You will of course study in the yoga ladder in Bhagavad Gita. So first one studies Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga only one studies Vedas. One has only mainly knowledge from Vedas. And when one proceeds to Jnana Yoga, so then this, the potencies. So if you see Vedas and Upanishads, in Vedas, Lord Vishnu is described, but he is described as the Supreme Lord of the universe and all. At most, material potencies are described. And he is just described as the Lord and all. So the means if you see from their perspective, you may see from basic only we are studying how Krishna has devotees, Krishna has so many rasas and all. But if you see from a Vedic follower, in Vedas these spiritual potencies are not at all discussed. So it is very much likely that one may not have so much knowledge of, one may know the absolute truth but may not have so much knowledge. So the greatness of the absolute truth is described in Vedas and Upanishads, and to some extent material potencies are described. So it very means it is possible that someone may, in that way someone may only focus on Brahman, and few may also focus on Paramatma. And only when one comes to Puranas and Bhagavatam, and when one becomes fortunate by hearing from devotees, then one will come to know about spiritual potencies, and one will also begin to appreciate them. So it's rare, means, so these things are possible. Otherwise we may think this is all ABC we know and know how it is possible, So if one starts from the Vedic path and all, so it is possible. One may know only about the greatness of the absolute truth, but may not know its potencies. And one may further know about its material potencies, but not spiritual potencies. Okay. Yeah, you can read the verse again.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. उपदृष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Supersoul. Bhagavad Gita 13.23.
So if you see here, only the greatness of the absolute truth is described. There are no material potencies. But if you see here in this verse, the material potencies are described. Material potencies means how the Lord is, creating this material world and how he's maintaining them. So those things are described, no? Bharta, Bhokta, he's the overseer and permitter and all. But if you see here, he's just described as, no, he is a source of happiness, immortal, imperishable, and all. So some attributes and greatness is described. So like this, if you see Upanishads and Vedas, like these verses, you will find a lot. And these verses also you will find some. Okay, next.
चिन्तामणि प्रकरसद्म सुकल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
So yeah, in this verse, the both spiritual potencies and also, yeah, so there are no material potencies described, but spiritual potencies are described. So this is like the description of Bhagavan. And yeah, this is obviously the description of Paramatma, means the word also is there. And this is description of Brahman. Yeah. So this is the example. So now you can take maybe around 5 minutes and you can, whatever verses you know from Bhagavad Gita, or you can search also, and come up with some verses which describe the material potencies or pastimes of Lord and spiritual potencies and pastimes of Lord from Bhagavad Gita. Or you can also tell some other verses also from Bhagavatam also contain. Okay, 5 minutes we'll discuss.
Prabhuji, meanwhile, can I ask a question regarding this purport?
First we will discuss, then we can take question. Otherwise, maybe distract.
Sure.
Okay, so anyone from Bhagavad Gita versus or in general versus explaining material potencies of Lord. Yes, Swati Mataji, continue.
It is chapter 9, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Most of the shlokas are about the material potencies that the God has stated. So one of those is like Madhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunane Yakauntaya Jagat Parivartate.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, can I say the pastime?
We want verses.
Okay, then one verse is here, this 7.4. Bhumir apo nalo vayu.
Okay.
Kammano padire vicham.
Yes, yes.
So earth, water, air,
Yeah, okay.
fire, ether, all are by separated energy.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Sanatan Gopal Prabhu.
Bro, like Mataji said earlier, that multiple verses from chapter 9, Maya Tekshena Prakriti Suvite Sacharacharam Jananti Mam Mudha Manusita.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Anish Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can we take the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadhyasya Tonmayaditaratas?
Yes, 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 yes. Correct, correct. Okay. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Devi Yeshi Gunamayi Mama Maya Durataya.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now spiritual potencies versus about spiritual potencies. Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
There is for the first one rule, Apariyamidastavanya. And for the second one, I think Rajavidya, Rajugayam, Pavitramidam.
Okay, yes, yes. Yeah. Yes, yes. Correct. Spiritual potency, that is. Okay, any more? Okay, Anish Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can we take Ahobakiyam Stanakala Kutam? It says the
yeah,
all merciful nature.
about the mercy nature. Okay, Pratik Prabhu.
प्रभुजी अहम सर्वस्य प्रभुः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते.
Acha. Yeah, yeah, that you can take as devotional service. Yes. Okay, because Bhajanti word is there. Okay, anyone else want to say? Okay, fine. So now the concept is Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I don't know, but it is related. Pahi pahi mahayogina deva deva jagatpate. Tad anyam bhayam yatra murti parasparam. That is. Na tad bhayam.
Okay.
Na anyam tad bhayam yatra murti parasparam. That means. So there ki Bhagwan protects.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah, so the concept is clear of what is spiritual and what is material potencies. Okay. Yes, bro, so you can read the last paragraph.
In the Bhagavad Gita 6.64-67, there is a comparative analysis of the three types of transcendentalists: the worshippers of the impersonal Brahman, Jnanis, the worshippers of the Paramatma feature, Yogis, and the devotees of Lord Shri Krishna, Bhaktas. It is stated there that the Jnanis, those who have cultivated Vedic knowledge, are better than ordinary fruitive workers, that the yogis are still greater than the jnanis, and that among all yogis, those who constantly serve the Lord with all their energies are the topmost. In summary, a philosopher is better than a laboring man. A mystic is superior to a philosopher, and of all the mystic yogis, he who follows bhakti yoga, constantly engaging in the service of the Lord, is the highest. Sri Ishopanishad directs us towards this perfection.
Yeah. Okay. So Prabhupada is based on a Bhagavad Gita verse, is saying how the worshippers of Brahman are better than the karmis, materialists, and then the worshippers of Paramatma, the yogis, are better than them, and then the worshippers of Bhagavan, the bhaktas, are better than them. Someone has a question. Some Mataji has a question.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, I wanted to, if you can describe little more about this meant from Srila Prabhupada. unless this covering is removed, so one can perceive the real face of the personality of Godhead. And then he said that factual realization of the absolute truth can never be achieved. Like factual realization, na Prabhuji? So I was just thinking about like by facts and so
No. Acha, unless the covering of the face is not removed, the factual realization cannot be achieved.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
right.
because the Bhagavan is a complete manifestation of the absolute truth. No? Means the both Sat, Chit and Ananda potencies are manifested. So one cannot know the full all potencies of the absolute truth unless one realizes Bhagavan. Because in Brahma Jyoti only the Sat feature is realized. No? So you cannot, like if you see a person know on social media some profile and all, you may know very little about them. But unless you meet them in person, and no, you will not know about them fully. So it is something like that. Factual realization means knowing all the 360-degree information or whatever you call. So that is only available if one knows Bhagavan.
Okay.
That. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll just discuss a little bit on OB. I think not open this one. Or maybe don't have I'll open this one. Okay. Okay, so this is the first question. So describe in your own words practical ways and benefits therein of applying the Ishavasya principle in society in general, ISKCON, and your own life. So this has to be answered in 600 words. So accordingly, you have to divide between all these three points. It means all three have to be done equal justice. Sometimes it may happen one may write so much about society in general, but no other things get neglected. So these applications, some things Prabhupada has mentioned in the purports. He mentions about the conflict between capitalist, communists. So some things about ISKCON he does not mention in specific. So that you can think about, or if you want, you can hear. We have discussed a bit, or you can think, or you can hear lectures, Ishopanishad lectures by some other devotees and all. Yeah, they're simple only. Means the same concept of no conflict between two parties, how it is applicable in ISKCON case, all those things you can think about it. Your own life, some things Prabhupada mentioned, some things you can think further, elaborate and expand on that. At least you have to write at least three points on under each and elaborate on them. And as whenever it is possible, you have to support it with the excerpts from Prabhupada's purports. So you can also hear lectures of Prabhupada on Ishopanishad. That link I will share. So this is about the first question. So don't write so much theory. Maybe you can spend one paragraph on explaining what is Ishavasya principle and answer to the point. Practical ways. That is the focus. Practical ways and benefits, like how to apply and what are the benefits of it, what difference it makes to society, what difference it makes to ISKCON, or how ISKCON is applying practically the Ishavasya principle and all these things. So focus on these two things, practical ways and benefits. Don't unnecessarily so much explain about Ishavasya principle. That you can spend one paragraph, that is sufficient. Okay. So this is about the first question. So like this, if you write pointers and all, it will be easy to correct also. And second question is establish in your own words with appropriate evidence from Ishopanishad verses, purports, analogies, and Prabhupada's Ishopanishad lectures, the personal form of the Lord. So 4 things are to be used. First is verses. So if you read purports of there are particular verses, by meaning of the verses, you will understand that there the personal form of the Lord is being highlighted. So you can focus on that. Means if you read the purports, you will directly, means Prabhupada highlights it. So you can easily make out those verses. It's not difficult, because especially on the Lord, only few verses are focused. It's not like every verse Lord is described. So it's easy to make out. It's not difficult. So first see the verse in the translation, how it is being highlighted, explain that. Then in the purport, you can see how Prabhupada is using and what analogies he is giving. So that you can explain. And further, you can refer Ishopanishad lectures. Again, this also write point wise, so that it will become easy to correct and evaluate. So yeah, the second question is more easy, means you have to just read and write them. First question, little you have to think and all. Okay, any questions? Yes, Anish.
Prabhuji, it's not about OBA actually. We'll finish Ishopanishad in next week, or like we'll
Yeah,
come
next week we'll finish. Mostly
next
next
weekend
week,
we'll come.
Sunday half, by that we'll finish. We'll be able to
Okay,
finish.
okay. So we can discuss with Arjuneshwar Prabhu about exam and all that.
The dates I already informed him, means when it will get finished, you can ask him and communicate to devotees, etc.
Yes, yes.
So OBI I'm discussing, means how to write, so that you can ask when is the deadline, all those things. You can start writing OBI. So.
Yes.
Okay, if there are no questions, then on OBI you have written already previously, I think, for NOI, so you should not have problem so much. Okay, so
Prabhuji, can you scroll a little up? I wanted to note down the first question.
questions will be communicated to you. You need not write. They will be communicated. These are the questions that you can ask Anish, he will send. There is a printed PDF of our questions, so don't worry about
It's
it.
in handbook also, Guruji.
Yeah, so they are there in the handbook. But they are handpicked, only 2 you need to answer, but not so many. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for your patience and listening, attention.
Thank you very much, Hare
Upanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Krishna